Today we're taking a look at Fender's American Professional Classic Jazz Bass. My first Fender musical instrument purchase was a used 74 jazz bass that I bought in the early 80s, which I thought was cool because Clint Conley of Mission of Burma played a jazz bass. It was a great bass that I wish I still had. Other great J-bass players include Jaco Pastorius, Geddy Lee, Gail Ann Dorsey, and a long list of others. The jazz bass is known for its dual single-coil pickup design and comfortable offset waist-contoured body, and slim neck width, especially up by the nut. Fender has produced a lot of iterations of the jazz bass. The American Pro Classic line introduces a high-value, vintage-inspired version that is one of the most affordable options if you're looking for a new American-made J-bass. Let's orient ourselves among the different lines in Fender's universe because there are enough of them that it can be a little confusing at first. Everything generally fits into good, better, and best build quality levels, and their prices reflect that. And at each level, there are a few different flavors, from more vintage spec to more modern. Fender's entry level is the Standard series, then you jump up to the Made in Mexico Player 2 series and the Ventura 2 series. From there, you step up into the American-made Fenders with this American Professional Classic series and the 70s-inspired American Performer series. Continuing up the line of American-made Fenders, you can go for the American Professional 2, American Ultra 2, American Vintage 2, and finally the American Ultra Luxe series. Enough of that. Let's take a closer look at this jazz bass. Compared directly to the American Performer and the American Professional 2 jazz basses, this new American Pro Classic version leans a bit more into the vintage styling with some cool finishes like this one in faded Fire Mist Gold, vintage-style tuners, and Coastline 62 pickups. It's got an alder body, which is a wood that Fender's been using since very early days, and it comes in 3 durable gloss urethane finishes, this beautiful gold, plus faded Dakota red, and 3-color sunburst. The maple neck features a modern C-shape that fits comfortably in my hand and has a warm vintage tint and a smooth satin urethane finish that feels really nice as you move your fret hand up and down the neck. And it's secured to the body with the traditional 4-bolt neck plate with the Fender logo on it. The fretboard is going to be either rosewood on the sunburst and Fire Mist Gold models and maple on the red. Most seasoned Fender players will tell you that the rosewood boards will impart a slightly warmer tone and the maple boards sound snappier. I'd say that this is something you as a player might feel, but that it would be hard to discern in a blind listening test. The fretboard uses a 9.5-inch radius with 20 medium jumbo frets, which is a little flatter than Fender's tighter vintage 7.25-inch radius, and it's got a synthetic bone nut that lets the strings move smoothly through its slots and has a slim and comfy 1.5-inch width. And you access the truss rod at the headstock, which means you don't have to take off the neck to adjust the relief like you do on true vintage spec models. The classic Fender headstock features the spaghetti-style Fender logo. Its vintage-style lollipop tuning machines use the venerable and ingenious split-shaft design where you simply stick the end of the string straight down into the hole, give it a 90-degree bend through one side of the shaft, and tighten it up to tune. It's got a vintage-style bridge with 4 steel barrel saddles. These are Coastline 62 single-coil neck and bridge pickups, which Fender says are slightly overwound to give them a bit higher output that sounds on the warm side. That lets you dial in characteristic J-bass clarity and growl with plenty of fundamental thump on tap. And on the control plate, you've got separate volume controls for each pickup and a master tone knob to cover a wide variety of sounds. The tone circuit behind the control plate features Fender's grease bucket system, which still cuts high frequencies like a traditional tone circuit, but doesn't completely squelch all treble. In practice, that means you can still get a usable tone even when you roll the tone knob all the way down. Let's see how this jazz bass sounds. This is a really nice jazz bass. It'll do everything a jazz bass should do and then some, thanks to the 62 Coastline pickups and the grease bucket tone circuit. And if the past is any guide, this bass could outlive you and hold or increase its value over time. It comes with a deluxe gig bag with 3 pockets for your cables, strap, extra strings, cheat sheets, and what have you, and it has comfortable shoulder straps so you can throw it on your back, grab your amp, and get to the gig. If you like this jazz bass but wish it skewed a bit more modern in terms of features, you should check out the American Professional 2, which has a slim C neck with a sculpted neck heel and a string through the body bridge, plus some other modern touches. And it comes with a hard case. If you want a more faithful vintage reproduction, you'll want to consider the American Vintage 2 jazz bass, which replicates the classic 1966 model. In my opinion, this American Pro Classic sits in a pretty sweet spot for what I look for in a great J bass. Great value, specs, and sound with a build quality that I know will stand the test of time. That wraps up our look at the American Professional Classic Jazz Bass, but if you have any questions about anything we've covered or anything we didn't, or if you want to learn more about other jazz bass options or other Fender basses, get in touch with us here at Crutchfield today.